Hello, everyone, and welcome. Thank you so much for all your comments and all of the DMs you have been sending me. It's amazing that after speaking to you yesterday, a lot of parents, you have emailed, actually DM'd me, saying that you appreciate me saying to you how much you don't have to feel like you're by yourself. You feel like you're by yourself, and that is the reason why you tend to not to share and not want to be judged. You know what? I so honor you for sending that DM to me. Some of you who did that, thank you so much. And seeing the side of the compassion side of our coaches and myself, it's not somebody's trying to blame anybody. It is that totally what you're going through is new for you as a parent, so there's just a lot of help. And with the AI coming full force, we don't even know who's real and who's not anymore online. Just don't randomly take advices from anybody, or also there could be content that is going to be put out, that's going to look very much like it's real, but it's not. It's AI content, and there are people behind it that you don't get to meet. That are not good people. Sometimes they're trying to sell you. So you have to be extra careful. I know you're taking the precaution, but that's why I show up every day here. I'm not an AI. My coaches are not AI. Our movement is not created by AI or anything else other than to end human suffering. So I just want to honor all of those parents. I was so surprised. That's why you have to speak your heart, right? So I was surprised that some of you might just send me a message saying that how dare you say that, or how can you say this? Do you understand what we're going through? Instead, you showed something so beautiful, which was you said, you know what? Finally, I feel like I can share. I can feel like I can share what I'm going through in my family, because you think it's happening to you. Because I talk to so many parents and families in one day, and educators in a day, I know so many things, right? It's about what you're getting exposed to, right? You probably think you're in this by yourself, but us, we talk to parents every single day. This is what we do every single day. So we know what's going on in families. We know what families are going through. So therefore, there is no shame. There's no judgment. If somebody is judging you, they're not your crowd. You need to let them go and put them far away from your life. Because anybody who's toxic and who doesn't understand what you're going through, what is their purpose in your life? They don't have a purpose in your life. Just throw them out into the furthest orbit out there, right? You can only keep people who are supporting you and supporting your parenting journey. Every parent have their unique parenting journey. We can't just take one fits all and give you a master general list over here to this is how you should parent. Anybody who says that to you, they are liars, because they shouldn't be generalizing and standardizing your living and your child's requirement. They should be customizing it. So I so appreciate those of you who DM'd me and shared with me that you appreciated me yesterday, saying that you have a other people who can support you. You can reach out to us. Some of you who also wanted to book some clarity meeting with us, which is good, right? Just start moving, and we will dedicate our time to you and your family and give you a clarity, a plan that could work for you, so that you don't have to take care of this by yourself. So I thank you from my heart. So today, I was going to have one of my coaches, Caitlyn, was supposed to be with me, but she does have a beautiful little baby. Maybe she is being a mom, which is amazing, right? So I want her to, not worry. Caitlyn, if you're watching me, do not worry about it. Your daughter is number one. Your baby is number one. So take care of her. I will handle this live, and I will present the topic that you wanted to share today. So Caitlyn sent me a topic today she wanted to talk about. She was thinking that she needed more discipline, but it actually ended up that she needed more support. How many of you feel like you don't need more discipline, but you need more support? And what does that even mean? What is the difference between discipline and support? Like, what do you mean support, right? So that's what today's live is going to be all about. But before we go there, you know the drill. Those of you who watching me every day. You know, the drill is that we have to bring ourselves now and here. Since we're on the topic of discipline, which is one of my favorite words because it's such a byproduct of so many different things, we think of it as a starting point. But you all know that discipline is not a starting point. That's why when we think of it as a starting point, we always end up failing miserably, right? In discipline. So, discipline comes through so many different things that this biological system has to be in order to be disciplined. So, if we start with discipline, it will end up in disappointment. Any of you here can relate to that? Yes, of course, right? So, when it comes to discipline, what are some of the past thing I can think about right now? If I'm not here, I'm going to talk about discipline. So let's go into the discipline past thing. Well, I could talk about all the years that I've set goals and I said I would lose weight and I said I would be so disciplined that I would go to the gym at 6 a.m. because that's what every successful person does. You know, how many of us have done that, right? So that is my discipline list. I made a discipline list every single year. And before you know it, before even January ends, my list, I don't even know where it is. And my discipline is nowhere to be found. So then I go to the past and say, Kuhila, really, you're going to be disciplined to go to the gym at 6 a.m.? Are you kidding me? You remember last year when in the before year, you never did that. Why would you want to go? Are you kidding? Don't even make plans like that. So this is me in the past talking about me figuring out how discipline is going to look like today and now. Even then, my brain's going to say, you're not a disciplined person. Don't even think about becoming disciplined. When have you ever been disciplined? Show me one proof that you ever did something with discipline. Well, I can argue with my brain and say, well, I did, finish my school. That's a discipline. I did do this. I am a mother. So I stayed with my, son and I made sure he had a great life. So that's discipline. I can argue with it, but my brain's going to say, you know what? You are not that disciplined person. Because there's so many times that you feel that's the past conversation we have, right? Anytime our brain takes over and takes us to the past, it usually wants to beat us up. It's like a boxing match. It wants me to be beat up by my ability to be disciplined, if I'm talking about discipline, right? So what happens if I'm doing that in the now and here? What am I even now and here if I'm taking the beating in the past? Of course not. I'm not in the present. I'm in the past fighting, and sometimes I'm just drowning in my past mistakes and disappointment and how disappointing I am at myself. So any of you watching right now think this is productive? Am I being productive right now, talking to myself right now? No. That's why going into the past without you really wanting to go, but your brain, takes you over to a trip to the past, and then it gives you this kind of, discipline, right? That is not a productive time at all. It is actually wasted time. Now, only thing I can do is I can take some lessons from the past and I can tell the brain that we're going to let it go because this is wasting my time and I'm not ready to waste time anymore with you. So we're ending this because I want to bring myself now and here. This is what I want to be. Tell your brain that. Your brain is in your control. It does not control you. You control it. Can you say that repeatedly to yourself until your brain believes that you are the master of it? It's not a master of you. We all need to master our brain, and we need to own it, and we need to control it. Because if it doesn't, it wants to do whatever it wants, such as go to the past and talk about things where I wasn't disciplined, as if I have no idea that I did those, right? Now, another place we like to go to is the future, which is beautiful, right? I always say future is beautiful. Future is the only thing we can set intention and be so excited about. But the thing is, when we think about the future, if our brain brought us to the future, it wants to think about how I'm going to be not disciplined even in the future. It's going to tell me stories like, why would you set such a goal? When was the last time you did this? Remember this? What if this happens? What if that happens? What if you can't end up doing this? So why would you even do this? Do you think this is a productive conversation about my future? Listening to my past brain give me all the information how I'm going to be an idiot in the future as well. So why would you even plan the future? Why don't you just quit now? Don't you think it's very abusive what my brain does or what our brain does? It's beating me up about thinking about the future, clouded with my past. If you already know that past is something I want to let go, why would I want to bring that and create my future with it? Makes no sense. When we think about it, it doesn't make sense. But when our brain does it, it totally knows what it's doing until you take control of it. Then it has no power over you. So, what can I do with this future conversation that it's beating me up on? I need to bless the future. Future is something that you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. So, why are we producing it? Why don't we just set some intention, bless it, and we release it? So, it just release that and let it leave your consciousness, right? So now if I do both of those, if I let go of the past and release the future, what do I have? My hands are free. I can bring them together. I can really bring them together. In this place, I am present. In this place, I'm here. In this place, I am now in my now state. In this state is the state where you can learn, where you can live, and where you can lead. And then a lot of people say, I'm not a leader. I don't lead the country. No, you are a leader of yourself and the people that you care about. So we all are leaders in our own ways. So that's why this place is so important. Now and here is the most important place than anywhere else we want to be, right? So to bring me even further now and here, I could do some breathing. I love breathing. And on some of you might say it's just breathing. No, it's not just breathing. Breathing is powerful, but we just say it's just breathing because it's so given to us so abundantly that we take it for granted, all of us, right? That's why we take shallow breaths. And that's why we hold our neck like this or our shoulders like this, and we say our back hurts, or my shoulder hurts, my neck hurts, my leg hurts, because we're holding things in our body without breathing deep enough. So let's go take some deep breaths so we can let go of them. There's these toxic stuff that we store in our body. Our body is not for storage. Really, it's not for storage. So don't store things that are unnecessary and toxic. Don't. We all have to remember that, myself too. So let's inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And then exhale for 8. And this time you're letting go everything and anything and everything and anything that you worry, fear, any anxiety, anything, just let it go. Don't hold on to it in your body, because your body is not a storage bin. It's a beautiful sacred place. Let's maintain that. This soul lives here, right? Your soul lives in this body. Let's go take an inhale for 4. Hold for 4. Now this time, send your air everywhere so that you can collect any toxic energy, and then release it for 8. Letting go everything and anything and everything that worries you, that makes you suffer, that makes you feel angry. Just let it go through your mouth for 8. One more time. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And then really let go. Drop the shoulders. Drop everything out of your body. Let's do it. I want to hear your noise. Awesome. This is so important for you. It's important for your children. It's important for your student. Don't forget to do this. Don't forget to do this. Now, first thing I want to do here on this conversation is really, what does discipline even mean? Let's just look at that. What does discipline mean? Discipline means, it says, when we're disciplined, it says that do it anyway. In discipline, have you heard of the videos that some people make where they're yelling at you how to discipline? You have to be persistence, do this, do that, and you're gonna have discipline. So do it anyway, right? Who cares about what this body's saying? Just do it. Yeah, I wish it was like that. I wish it was like that. It's not like that. Anybody can say that and they do it, or a person who's already their biological systems are in alignment and in activation, and they can do it. You and I can't. Just when our discipline says, do it anyway, it's not going to happen. Push through. Discipline says, push through. Discipline says, be better. You better be better. That's discipline. Then try harder. Come on, you need to go, try harder, right? So these are things what discipline says. As you can see, completely every one of those things I just said, it ignores that this is a soul, this is a living system, that it is trying to express, and it's just suppressed right now. We don't know how to help it. Instead, just yelling these words out in the name of motivation, right? Which is going to bring apparently discipline. So all of these things relies on what? Force, willpower, pressure. It assumes the system is fine. You're not just trying hard enough, right? So whenever somebody doesn't do a good job, they're going to think that they don't even have to think their systems. I don't think anybody even talks about system. They just say, you just need to try harder. I think you're lazy. You're not trying hard enough or something like that, right? Now let's define support. What does support says? Opposite to discipline saying. So discipline is force, willpower, and pressure. So what does support say? Support says something is blocking this. The minute you say something is blocking this, guess what happens? Your awareness goes boom like this, because now you're scanning. Because something is blocking. What is it? So you have curiosity at that point, and you are going to get like detective scanning and looking at what is blocking here, right? That's different than what I just showed you earlier. And then the next few things we can ask from the support is that, what do I need right now? Like a lot of the time when we get frustrated, overwhelmed, the most important thing is to make us calm again. So instead of asking, what is going on, what do I need right now is a great question. What do I need right now? It's more compassion towards yourself and others. What do you need right now? Instead of asking anything else would be great. That is support. How do I make this doable? So in discipline, to become a thing, a byproduct of it, we have to make sure, how do I make this doable? Because not always everything is doable. And for some, it might be doable. For others, it's not. So are we going to judge, or are we going to help them? So when you have the support working for you, then what happens? It works with alignment, capacity, and environment. The alignment is what I just talked about, having alignment within ourselves and activating our systems. The system isn't ready yet. Let's fix that. So whenever the support is there, it's always, what it's doing is like it's looking at you as a system and saying that it's not working yet. What can we do to help it or fix it? So the real difference between the two words are, the discipline tries to override the system. Support tries to stabilize the system and bring it back to the simplest way of living. So let's look at some example here. If a child doesn't want to do homework, the discipline approach would be what? What would you say in the discipline approach? You need to sit down and finish it. No excuses. Right? In the discipline approach, I would say you need to sit down and finish it. No excuses. Support approach would say, you are overwhelmed. Or are you overwhelmed, tired, confused, distracted? What would help you start? So do you see the difference in the question? The discipline is more sit down, get it done, no excuse. The supportive system or the approach is, are you overwhelmed, tired, confused, distracted? What would help you to start? Another example would be, your brain says, the discipline voice says, why did Why didn't I do it? Why didn't I do it? I need to be better. The discipline voice, right? When we're talking to it. Why didn't I do that? Why did I don't do it? I need to do this better. But if it's a supportive voice, it would say, what made this hard? What would make this easier next time? So always in that area of, right? Anytime we're talking about flow, support, all of this is always about what? How do I make this easy for the person I'm working with or myself so I can become disciplined, right? So the supportive voice always is guiding me to get to discipline. But if I start from discipline, I will shut myself down if I follow that because it's more firm and it's not really looking at this as a soul print. Now, if you think about it, if you have been very successful, then you're good. You're disciplined. No problem. I'm not talking to you about this, right? Because you already have that covered. I'm talking to those people where discipline isn't always the last thing. It always comes as a first thing. And if discipline worked, you wouldn't be still stuck. That's another thing, right? If you feel stuck, obviously you're not starting with the internal, this person in here. You're starting on the outside, implementing strategies, different things to be disciplined, to carry on things. So discipline alone, and if it's as a starting point, it keeps us stuck. Support approach is what makes discipline even possible. So whenever we can give as much support, the end product of it is discipline. So there's no force or willpower needed. It just, you get there. So let's go over what is the old way of dealing with discipline, right? Let's go over that. What is the old way we usually do this with? We try to fix it with what? What do we always do when things are not working? What do we always go to? We try to fix it with more what? More discipline. I mean, if discipline is not coming, I need to fix myself with more discipline, right? That makes sense? Does that make sense? I need to get better routine because I'm not disciplined to follow something, but I'm going to have to create better routine, more pressure, and more consequences. Then you know what? I'm going to get disciplined. So as you can see how crazy this sounds, right? If I'm already not doing it, I'm going to add more of what I'm not doing it to get me do it. It makes no sense. It's kind of what we do at school. The child doesn't understand. We're going to sit them down with the tutor and give them more content. Well, the child does not want to learn or don't understand. That doesn't mean they want more of the same thing. That is making them in that state. So we learned that whatever we want is exactly, we add more pressure to that, we add more consequences that, and then we build ourselves this shame and guilt because it's not going to work. More discipline with more discipline, it's not going to work. It's going to crush, right? Crush you. And then eventually it's going to create what? It's going to create a loop where you're going to feel shame and guilt. And then eventually it's going to start saying, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I used to ask that all the time. What's wrong with me? Why can't I stick to the plan? Why can't I just follow the discipline that I always see myself doing it, but when it comes to it, I can't do it? That's because I'm adding more discipline to get to discipline, which is not what I need. So this is really, if you think about it, it's not a discipline problem. It's more of our understanding of how this body and this person works. We never have learned to look at it as through the biological sense, right? This body and this person is in a real world, bombarded with so many variables. So how can I expect that if I'm not disciplined, I'll add more discipline and more consequence to myself, then it's going to get easier? Would it? Would it? No, right? Because the more I do that, guess what I'm going to do? my nervous system is going to start feeling the pressure and it's going to shut down. Then I don't even want to be near my discipline. So then the discipline goes out the door, right? So when we're looking at our life and discipline, really we want to bring awareness first, because if I don't know where I'm falling short, if I don't know my pattern, how can I really help myself other than push more discipline into my life, right? How can I help my life? I can't. So awareness is number one. Noticing and becoming aware is number one. So let me ask you a few questions. When you don't follow through, what do you usually say to yourself? So when you don't follow through, what do you usually say to yourself? Because that will really highlight what your language is around discipline and how you handle disappointment from discipline not working for you, right? So when you don't follow through, what do you usually say to yourself? Think of that. Then, where did you learn that discipline equals worth? A lot of people have discipline associated with their worth. So I also want you to think about this question. So this is how you bring awareness to certain things. Then what we need to do is that when we bring awareness, what are we going to notice? We're going to notice patterns. We all have them. We all have them. There's not a person I've have so far met that does not have a pattern or patterns. Every one of us have our own pattern. So we need to interrupt this pattern because it's currently not serving us, right? So we need to interrupt the pattern. What if the problem isn't you, but the way you've been trying to solve it? Really, it's not us that doesn't have the discipline. We were never given the information that this biological systems, this system right here, the soul needs to be looked at someone who's living, and they are going through things every single minute, every single second. Then after we interrupt the pattern, we need to do system awareness. So we did the awareness overall, but now we got to get to the system, because we got to get to the root of the problem, right? So we can't just stay above the surface. We need to get down into the root. So that's when you become system aware. What does your system actually need in those moments? So really become compassionate towards yourself and asking, what do I need when I approach these moments in my life, right? Is it structure I need, or is it support I need? So first, ask a lot of awareness questions. Second, when you're asking that question, you're going to start to notice patterns, then interrupt those patterns, and then system awareness, meaning tuning into this person to become more of a person that can follow through on the discipline, right? So coming in here to see what is stopping me to be the disciplined person that I always wanted to. And if you're a parent, one more thing that you should be asking yourself, where might we be asking our kids for discipline, but they actually need support? So those of you who are watching me afterwards, there's a difference between discipline and support. Support is saying things like, something is blocking this. What do I need right now? How do I make this doable? Those are what supportive approaches look like. So what it does is, when you use the supportive approach, it works with alignment, capacity, and environment. But if we do discipline, which is do it anyway, push through, be better, try harder, all of those things, it applies force, willpower, and pressure. Can you see why adding more pressure and adding more discipline and consequence of not following through actually falls apart? Not just in kids, even adults, it does the same thing. You might have faster recovery, but we're also doing the same thing too, as we do it to our children, right? Because it's knowingly or non-knowingly, that's what education system has done for all of us. So to keep going with the misunderstanding is that it's not a discipline problem. If it was just that, you would have solved it now. What's actually happening is this: a system that doesn't feel supported will not follow through, right? If you're not supporting this system right here, your biological system, and come home to yourself first, it's not going to support it. It's going to fall apart. And also, another thing that's happening during this is your system is protecting you as well. So that's why it's really important to support it in this, right? So we did the awareness. First bring awareness, interrupt the pattern after you notice the pattern, and then bring system awareness to whoever you're working with, or including yourself. This is how you can do it. So here's the shift I want you to remember before I finish today. Instead of asking, why didn't I do it? So don't ask yourself why I did not do it. Instead of that, ask what would have made this easier to follow through on. When you ask that kind of questions, it becomes support. It's no longer discipline, it is support. And that is what changes everything. Support is what changes everything. Knowing how to talk to yourself with compassion. Sometimes support really looks like what people might ask, what does that look like? Well, first of all, support is allowing this body to breathe, allowing this body to be now and here, because those are two powerful things. And support is also, then we can get into, if you're in acceleration, then you can also get into some tools like checklist, right? Strategies like taking break, asking for help, or just resting. Giving yourself power, giving yourself permission to rest is so important. All of these things I'm talking about, you might think this is so simple, but it is very powerful. I want you to not pour more discipline when discipline is not working. I want you to become using a supportive approach for yourself and for others. When your systems are supported, what will happen is you stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself. You're not going to have time, or you're not going to spend time in the past. You're not going to spend time in the future. You're going to be always here and now. That alone changes everything. So if you have been telling yourself, I need more discipline, and then if you keep not following through, maybe nothing is wrong with you. We've already talked about that. Maybe no one ever showed you what real support looks like. So can you create real support for yourself? And first come home to yourself right here. Because if you can do that, you're already in alignment and activation. So today, Caitlyn wants to really talk about the difference between discipline and the support that's needed. But I also want to take it a little bit further before we end here, is that it's really important that every one of us come together and talk about these things, because we are so living in isolation. Even though we're so connected, we're so disconnected between each other. It makes it impossible for you to really have the peace of mind that you're doing the right thing with your children or yourself, right? That's why this is important, that speak up, show up, reach out to our coaches so that they can really bring clarity for you and give you what can be done in terms of support, because support at the end of the day has to be customized. It's not one fit all. It has to be customized. So I hope this live really brought a light to why more discipline backfires on you, everything you've ever done. And also what you really need is support approach. And what does that look like? If this resonated with you, or if you like what I said today, please leave a comment for me, because it's really important to know what you're thinking and where we're at. But otherwise, DM me, because DMing is really good, because yesterday so many of you DM'd me. DM me, and I can really customize everything I said, so that you don't have to add more discipline and get more disappointed. Because discipline, if it's not working, it's not more discipline that's going to make it work. It's something else. And that's exactly what we do. So DM us and then join us on another live. Thank you so much. And I will see you tomorrow. And unfortunately, Caitlyn couldn't be here, but she is with her baby. So I'm excited for her. Thank you so much.